on the SABC on Freedom Day. Happy Freedom Day to you.
Great pleasure, great honor to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Claire, one thing that stands out about Mango Groove over all these decades is the ability to stay unified. And on Freedom Day, looking at how important that is, particularly as we navigate what the future is going to look like for South Africa. What do you think has been that magic that has held Mango Groove together all these years? How has it been symbolic and in the role you've played in South Africa over the years?
I think just from the very day I joined the band back in 1985, the band had already been existing for a year. There was just a huge connection. We came from such different backgrounds, and yet the music just brought us together. I was 17, Mickey Vilakazi, the late Mickey Vilakazi, was 64, and the music just connected us. And then when we started traveling the country, we just sort of noticed the effect the music was having on all South Africans, no matter where we went in the country. And it was just such a powerful thing, and so special to be part of something so sort of magical.
I'm thinking about some of the laws that had been passed and the racial segregation, how that would have impacted the quality of your movements as well as a band, particularly when it comes to being at certain venues, certain accommodations as well. I mean, what was the reality of that enforced anti-apartheid laws?
No, very good questions, and exactly right. I mean, an example, it's funny now, but John Leyden, our founding member, was actually locked up in prison because he contravened the past laws by dropping, I think he was dropping Jack LaRolle in Soweto after 9 o'clock at night. So he was, I think he was 19 years old, and he was thrown in the back of a van and locked up in the cells, and his mum came and bailed him out the next day. That's an example of the sort of thing that went on. And you're right, in terms of you weren't really allowed to fraternize. It was illegal to, you know, talking of freedom, the freedom to associate with who you want to associate with, the freedom to express yourself the way you want to. That doesn't exist. And I think it's important, you know, with all our challenges, to celebrate how far we've actually come.
Absolutely. I wonder, as a 17-year-old joining the band, what was your conscientizing? What was that moment of reckoning for you that enabled you to play your part in fighting, you know, this apartheid laws and fight for freedom at large through music?
Yes. Well, I mean, when I was 17, I was clueless. I joined a band. I was the only girl back then. I now have 3 women supporting me. But yes, my eyes opened when I joined the band. The reality of how so many South Africans were living. You know, going to Alex for the first time to sing at the graveside of Banza's dad. You know, that sort of stuff has really sort of stayed with me, and it was just amazing experiences, but, you know, bittersweet and painful, and you know, that sort of whole mix of feelings.
And it resonated with South Africa because obviously you became, your songs became an anthem for South Africans. What the group also stood for, Special Star, has, you know, become one of the greatest top 100 hits, South African hits of all time.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, it's one thing to make music, and then you've got to let it go, and then the people, you know, accept it. It gains legs. It has a life of its own. What do those moments mean for you, those milestones, as you reflect back in hindsight?
Well, I mean, we were absolutely blown away with the response to that very first album that came out in 1989. We had no idea it was going to land the way it did and be so well received. And it literally got to all South Africans. Back in the day, we had very few television stations, very few radio stations, so we literally got to every South African. We were, you know, and we were just blown away by the positivity and the love, and we still are.
I mean, Mango Groove then obviously also went on to have the songs featured in in movies. I mean, that also was another leg that took a life of its own. But I also wonder, as we look at the struggle, the role that music has played in South Africa at large, what would you say that's also reflecting in hindsight 30 years on?
The role of music. I just think it has the power to do what politicians can't. I think the same as sport, it brings people together. Politicians, I find, sort of seem to divide us, whereas music brings us together and lets us see what we have in common.
Because 4 decades later, you're still together, you're growing, you know, bigger, you're also performing all over. What can people expect from you this time round? Because there is an evolution of style and sound and people as well as you mature over the years. What can people look forward to this time around? I was talking to you off air. I saw you perform last year. That was one of my highlights last year as well.
No, live, we have more fun than ever. It's 11 of us on stage. It's all a bit crazy, as you saw.
Yes.
Huge energy. And we just, we obviously want to write some new material, but, you know, there's no escaping Special Stars, no escaping Dance Some More. And we don't want to escape them. We love them. We're thrilled that they're so well received. And we've got a show coming up May 12th at Durban Botanical Gardens. We're so excited about that. It's been ages since we've been in Durban, so we're thrilled about that.
Claire, I need to wrap up. I just want to look at where we are as a country and where we're headed, given, you know, your role in the struggle and celebrating 30 years of democracy, but also looking at the challenges that we're facing as a country now. What are those successes, but what are also some of the red flags that you're witnessing, that you also hope, you know, we could make better decisions so that the future can be brighter?
Look, obviously I'm no politician, but the obvious things are employment. We've got to deal with crime, healthcare. You know, people need to live good quality lives. We need to just, you know, get everything lined up for that.
Well, the music continues, the beat moves on. We're going to leave that conversation there. Claire, thank you for waking up and joining us at this hour. We're wishing you all the best of luck. Maybe see you for many more decades to come.
Looking forward to that.
Today we got to rejoice at just how far we've come as a country and also celebrate everyone in the past who fought for our freedom. We, of course, were chatting about the role of music that had played, or that role that music has played in South Africa's freedom. Claire Johnston, lead vocalist of Mango Groove, joined us for that discussion.